How's it going, guys? Got another review for you. Today's review is going to be on these Chip McCormick 10 round 45 ACP power mags. These two are the power mags by Chip McCormick. This one is a standard magazine 8 round that comes with the 6 hour 1911. First off, let's check the weapons chamber. No round in the magazine. Magazine well is empty, as you can see. Alright, so first issue with these Chip McCormick power mags. I got a couple problems with them. Overall, I do recommend them. I like them, but a couple issues. Pretty much all issues that probably would be resolved by getting the Power Mag Plus, which is $5 more. The problem with the Power Mag Plus is they are hard to find. The Power Mag, pretty simple, easy to find. A lot of websites have them, but the Power Mag Plus seems to be out of stock on most websites. So, with this Power Mag, one problem is this is my home defense weapon, and one problem is when I take the magazine out of the weapon, occasionally, or more than occasionally, I will find out that the top round will have left the back of the magazine, and it will leave a bit of a gap at the end of the round. I'm not quite sure why that happens. I mean, it's most likely just because there's a gap right there, as you can see, and pretty much all magazines will have that gap once you fill up the mag. But the problem is most of them have more of a recess right here, which will kind of catch this catch the cartridge in the back, but this one just doesn't quite have a good recess, so that magazine has a tendency of leaving the back of the mag. So despite the fact that I do make sure all rounds are at the back of the magazine when I insert the magazine into the weapon, like so, when I remove the magazine from the weapon, often I will find out that that top round has scooted forward a millimeter or two, which is kind of annoying. So that's one problem with these power mags. I'm going to go ahead and put this loaded magazine to the side now. Another issue that I have with these magazines is the fact that it does not have a no-tilt follower, which, you know, when I was talking about that Power Mag Plus, that will be an issue that will be resolved with the Power Mag Plus. Supposedly, that magazine has a no-tilt follower. As you can see, when I depress the front of the follower, the back of the follower should leave the feed lips. In the case of the Power Mag, that's not the case. As you can see, the back of the follower is still along the feed lips. And on top of that, another problem that creates when you release, you can actually get a gap in the back of the follower, and you can actually see the spring. I mean, that's just not a sign of a quality magazine. A 6 hour magazine, on the other hand, if you depress the front of the follower, let me focus here, the back of the follower leaves the feed lips and the follower stays perpendicular with the feed lips, as you can see, and there is no gap between the back of the mag and the follower, which is not the case with the Power Mag. See, drop down, the back of the follower stays on the feed lips, pop up, and you get a nice little gap in the back. You gotta push that back. Which leads me to my next problem. I used to do reload drills with these 10 round power mags. Just get used to the magazine, you know, make sure I'm proficient with the magazine, getting it in and out of the weapon. One thing about them is, as you can see, the weapon is supposed to lock back on an empty magazine. A couple times it failed to do so while doing reload drills, and that is because of, most likely because of the fact that it does not have the no-tilt follower. What most likely happened was, as the slide was rubbing against the follower, it probably got caught on the front of the magazine well and stayed low, which caused it not to press up on the magazine release, causing it not to lock like so. So that's another problem that should be resolved by getting the Power Mag Plus, because it should have a no-tilt follower. And another interesting thing is that was a problem when I used to do reload drills. Now not so much. I've actually never had that problem since I swapped out this slide release. That was not the reason I swapped out the slide release. The reason I swapped out the slide release is because there are two MIM parts in a Sig Sauer 1911. One of them is that, and the other one is the disconnector. So I just felt like getting rid of one of the MIM parts, so got rid of that old slide release and got the Wilson Combat slide stop, bulletproof slide stop, and that's out of solid bar stock, so that was a very nice slide stop. I'm very happy that I upgraded. So yeah, those are the two problems. Otherwise, besides that, I mean, it's a very reliable magazine. I've ran hundreds of rounds through both this one and the other Chip McCormick Power Mag, and I've never had a single issue at the range. As long as you have ammo running through it, I never had a problem with the magazine or with the slide locking back on the last on the empty magazine, because when you have ammo running through the magazine, the follower is going straight up from the bottom up, so it's not going to get caught. The only reason I used to have that problem is because I was running it empty and doing reload drills, but as long as you have ammo running through the magazine, it shouldn't have that problem. And actually, ever since I got this slide release, I've never had that problem since anyways, so it might have been the fault of my old slide release, but who knows. Either way, another thing I do actually like about these magazines is it does have a gauge for every single round. It's kind of hard to see in the reflection, but every single hole is numbered, so you can see if there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down to 10. So you will never have a problem knowing how many rounds you have in your magazine. Just pop it out, see what number it's on, and you know how many rounds you got. Like I said, 0 malfunctions, no stovepipes, no failure to feeds, no failure to lock once lock the slide on an empty magazine with ammo running through it at the range. But yeah, like I said, I like it, but I'm not sure if I would recommend this one. I mean, if you can't find the Power Mag Plus, I guess I would recommend it, because I've never had a problem at the range. So, I mean, I've ran hundreds of rounds through them. It's proven itself reliable. It's just, when you take a good look at it, I mean, it just doesn't seem like it would be reliable just looking at it, but the fact that it's proven itself at the range means that I guess I can trust it. I mean, I do use it, obviously, as my home defense magazine, so obviously I put some trust into it. In retrospect, I probably should be using the Sig Sauer magazine, because it probably does have better reliability, but I mean, you also get 2 more rounds with the Chip McCormick, so it's reliability versus ammo capacity. And yeah, that's I think I've gone over all the important points, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the review. If you have any other questions, comments, go ahead and just post them down below, and I will get to them as soon as possible. And thank you for watching.